Junkies.
So,
yeah,
the Morbius trailer, which is the new movie from Sony's Spider-Verse, I guess they want to call it, or a Spider-Man universe, however you want to frame it.
the Sony universe of Marvel characters. I think that's the
Is that the official name?
I believe that's the official name. Is Sony universe of Marvel characters.
SUMC. They really need to work on that one. That's not very good. They need to work on that one. Anyway, so the Morbius trailer comes out a couple of days ago, or yesterday, excuse me, starring Jared Leto and Tyrese of all people. Tyrese.
Well, I didn't think he would have as big a role in this as they showed. But
is he supposed to be a doctor?
No, I think he's like an FBI agent.
No, he's a cop.
He's a cop. I thought he was an FBI agent.
He's some type of law enforcement.
Yeah, I could swear I thought he was an FBI agent.
Okay, well, it'll be interesting to see.
It will. So Jared Leto, who famously played the Joker in the very much failed Zack Snyder universe for DC movies, is playing Michael Morbius. I won't belabor the point by talking about what his origin is and everything like that. I'm not sure if this movie is R-rated, but Fallen Marvel said something on Facebook that kind of really caught my attention and made my ears kind of perk up. What was that you said?
Well, I said a couple of things.
Wow.
One,
go ahead and say no. Go ahead and say them both. Then go ahead and say them both.
One that I'm overall indifferent about the movie, but the trailer itself actually looks like it is going to be easily better than Venom. Obviously, that's not a tall mountain to climb. And other than that, I pretty much said that like the trailer alone basically showed like more blood than both Venom movies combined.
This is true. This is true.
He is a vampire-like character.
Right. So having blood in it kind of was almost implied from the get-go. It would be pretty weird. It'd be like Spider-Man. It'd be like Spider-Man in the animated series where he has the little blood suckers on his hand and he's supposed to be absorbing plasma.
It's like I know, but considering the sequel was Carnage, and you guys know what scene I was talking about, like spoilers if anybody don't want to know, who cares? But the part where like Cletus goes and breaks out Shriek, and the aftermath, like they literally just see bodies everywhere, like in the facility, not a drop of blood
anywhere.
Again, that's what happens when you do PG-13 Carnage. You can't do Carnage as a PG-13. No, he's not a PG-13 character.
He's not. And again, I don't know if this is an R-rated movie. However, I did really like a lot of the Easter eggs that were in the trailer. The question has come up whether Morbius takes place in the MCU or whether it takes place in the Sony universe. Now, there's been conflicting feelings about that. When the first Morbius trailer came out and you saw Adrian Toomes, who's played by Michael Keaton, everybody was automatically saying, "Oh, it takes place in the MCU." Well, how are they going to do that? Because none of the Sony movies have ever taken place in the MCU, but they're using this Adrian Toomes. So it could be an Adrian Toomes that's from a different universe, which kind of still implies that it's part of the same multiverse that the MCU is a part of. Or it is really the Adrian Toomes from the MCU.
It's the Adrian Toomes from the MCU because if you think of it, I wish I had a little diagram here, and I forget what they call the diagram, but if you have a little circle right here that says
Venn diagram.
Sony, which one?
A Venn diagram.
Venn diagram. And then this right here circle is Marvel. They kind of intersect. So the movies that have Toby, I was going to say Tobey Maguire. Tom
Holland.
Tom Holland.
His movies he's still underneath Sony's wing. But because if I remember correctly, those Spider-Man movies were Sony produced. But Marvel was like, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
And the good thing they listened to him because they had a successful franchise for the first time in 20 some odd years because I won't say first, but you know what
it's been a while.
You know what I'm saying.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So there's still Sony produced stuff. So that Spider-Man is Sony. So that's the Adrian Toomes that was in the first Spider-Man movie.
Well, not only that, the artwork also had Spider-Man graffitied up as a murderer.
Yeah.
So that's the most telling thing.
The other thing, though, is that it's a couple of things. One, I really feel that the trailer itself was a little too beefy than it should have been. I think it gave quite a bit away.
That's all trailers by Sony.
I mean, but Sony is like dude, it's like you
They're
guys
bad
gotta
at it.
know how to stop like blowing your wad every
Yeah.
time, dude.
Yeah, they're really bad.
But-
They
Sony
can't
does it.
do it.
Warner
And it's
Brothers
like-
does it.
And it's like
Yeah.
one of the things like they put in the trailer. They mentioned they mentioned an event in San Francisco, which alludes that it also connects to Venom.
Yep.
But it's like it's confusing because like, okay, is this supposed to be before the convergence, after the convergence? Like, is there a thing to where like when it converge, they do know about Venom? Because I don't know. It just leaves a lot of questions because it's like because you're looking at it now, it's like, okay, shit ain't adding up because if Venom was like part of like a whole different universe and he just got sucked in,
Yeah.
how the hell would anyone even know anything about Venom?
But that would kind of
But-
imply that maybe Doctor Strange's spell absorbed all of them. Because,
Right.
to your point, right? He talked about, he said they talked about that event in Chicago, hinting at Venom, and then the whole thing where Morbius talked to guy, San Francisco, excuse me, and Morbius was talking to that guy and said, "I am Venom," and tried to scare him. He was like,
Right.
"No, yeah, I'm kidding," which was kind of a nice little nod too.
It felt weird and out of place.
It did.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously we
it
don't know
did.
the context of the scene, but it's like, were you just stopping this guy from assaulting you, or
Right.
are you joking around with this guy? So which one is it?
Yeah, that part was kind of weird. It felt like it was unnecessary, seeing as how they did the whole San Francisco thing.
Right.
A couple of other Easter eggs that we saw that were Spider-Man related. Oscorp would feature very prominently in the New York skyline. So did Horizon, aka Horizon Labs, which is a place in the comic books that both Peter Parker and Dr. Michael Morbius worked at. This was right before Spider-Man got rich, and then they, that whole thing. Anyway, but yeah, overall, I liked the trailer. I thought it was good. I'm excited to see it. And, you guys speak to this. I think the whole thing, leaving Venom 2 aside as it was a terrible movie, that last 5 minutes with the post-credit scene pretty much did them so much goodwill that I think a lot of people are going to be excited to see Morbius just to see where it does really take place, to see if it does kind of merge in the MCU, especially since this takes place, since this comes out in January, the month after Spider-Man, No Way Home.
Yeah.
I'm really shocked that they put them that
I mean,
close
to
together.
be honest, like
Me too. I'm surprised they put them back to back too.
it's like it for me. I think character-wise, I mean, granted, the character is more or less synonymous with Spider-Man as it, pertains to the lore and all that or whatever. And maybe it's just me, but I would have been more excited if they were able to do like a Blade Easter egg.
Well, that's what people have been saying in the chat.
Like,
Wolverine Solid X had brought it up. A couple
Because,
people
like,
brought
just
that
on the
up.
simple fact that it's like, dude, if they were able to kind of like do something to where like connects to that and maybe plant seeds for like Midnight Suns or something, then that would have been like more dope for me. But I mean, I'm indifferent about it overall, but I'm not gonna say that the trailer didn't look good. I mean, it does.
You do
I
know
would
this is
say that it's more interesting of a movie after seeing this trailer versus the teaser, because I think like the teaser just was like, why,
Well,
But-
you do realize this is a Sony Pictures, Columbia Pictures production, so any of that,
Yeah.
long game chess match is
yeah,
not
I
going to
know
happen.
it's hoping for too much, I know, but but it's just looking at it. It's just looking at it objectively. It looks interesting. It does look like whoever's doing this, like, at least is at least taking care of it to some degree so far.
We'll
But
see.
all one can do is hope.
I don't know
All I
anything
can do
about
is hope.
Morbius. So I'm just like, he's one of those, like, it's just weird to me because everybody says how Marvel took DC-list characters and turned them into A. I
They
never
did.
saw, because I always knew of Iron Man. I always knew of Captain America, Hawkeye. I know of them. Like Morbius, my only reference was a Spider-Man
The cartoon, yeah.
Right.
And
Which is fine.
He's completely
He's good.
wrong. Yeah, he's completely
dude.
wrong.
Romanian accent.
God.
We
Hey.
got screwed on the Romanian accent.
That dude loved him some Felicia Hardy, man.
Yeah,
I was like,
Felicia.
holy
Yeah,
goodness.
and it's just like I don't know. It just feels like it's like I'm going to go see it regardless.
Right.
But it's just like.
But you ain't like hyped for it in the same way you'd be hyped for like some of the other stuff.
But then again, you could say that you didn't know shit about Star-Lord, Groot, Gamora, and Drax as well.
True.
So,
but it was after all that stuff came after what Marvel was doing. It's like, man, they can't seem to go wrong.
Right,
and
fair.
Sony has yet to freaking strike.
Yeah.
I mean, if you count Spider-Man,
that's absolutely fair.
But even though the Spider-Man was written and made sure that Marvel said this is how it's gonna go. Like if Marvel did that with Morbius, Marvel did that with Venom, then it probably would be different. But it's just like I'm gonna go see it, but I'm just like,
I can understand that.
Fair.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed that clip. Make sure you check out our live content on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/culturejunkies. We also have a lot of content available on YouTube, unboxings as well as Blu-ray reviews. And you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/culturejunkies. And on top of all of that, if you go to culturejunkies.net, you can check out our merch store. The link is culturejunkies.net/merch. There's a lot of great merchandise there. So there's links and logos and stuff all around me. So check those out, and we will see you next time.